If you've ever dated an avoidant, you've likely noticed a familiar pattern. They show up, they disappear, and they always leave you with just enough to keep you hanging on. That pattern is called breadcrumbing. This is no coincidence. Breadcrumbing isn't a random act for an avoidant. It's a perfect defense mechanism designed to resolve their deepest internal conflict. Today, we're going to get straight to the truth about why avoidant relationships so often fall into the trap of breadcrumbing. Understanding these reasons is not to excuse their behavior, but to empower you to make informed decisions for your own life. Reason number 1, the conflict between their fear of intimacy and their fear of being alone. This is the core of every issue in an avoidant attachment style. An avoidant is trapped between two opposing fears. They crave love and connection, but they fear intimacy and commitment more than anything else. When a relationship gets too close, the fear of being trapped, dependent, and losing their autonomy rises to the surface. This is their automatic defense mechanism. They will withdraw. They will create physical and emotional distance. This is not a conscious choice, but a programmed reflex. However, after they've created that distance, they feel lonely. They start to notice your absence in their life. The fear of abandonment kicks in. Breadcrumbing is the perfect solution for this conflict. By throwing you crumbs of attention, a meaningless text message, a vague promise, a like on an old post of yours, they can safely keep you in their orbit. They can know you are still there without ever having to face their fear of genuine closeness. It's a perfect emotional buffer where they can get the attention they crave without any of the investment. This is selfish and cruel behavior, but for them, it's the only way they know how to survive. Reason number 2, it's a deactivation and reactivation cycle. Breadcrumbing is part of a painful cycle that avoidants often create. This cycle begins with deactivation. When things get too intimate, they will deactivate their emotions and pull away. This is driven by their internal anxiety that the relationship is threatening their independence. You'll notice them becoming cold, silent, and avoiding deep conversations. This deactivation lasts until they feel a new threat, the fear of losing you. When they sense that you might actually leave or have started living your life without them, they will be reactivated. Their fear and loneliness compel them to act. At this point, they use breadcrumbing as a way to reactivate the relationship. A text, a random call, a vague promise, it's all designed to pull you back in. It's like a person checking if their life raft is still there. This cycle repeats itself over and over. Intimacy, deactivation, withdrawal, loneliness, reactivation, breadcrumbing, false hope. The most dangerous part is that this cycle creates a trauma bond for you. The inconsistency and unpredictable rewards create a psychological addiction, trapping you in a cycle of hope and disappointment. You can't escape because your brain is being tricked into believing that short reactivation moment is what real love feels like. Reason number 3, it's a way to maintain power and control. In a breadcrumbing relationship, the avoidant is always the one in control. They dictate when you talk, when you meet, and when they disappear. They control the pace of the relationship without any emotional investment. They don't have to commit. They don't have to be accountable, but they still get the attention and validation from you. This pattern is not accidental. It is a subtle manipulative strategy, whether they are conscious of it or not. By keeping you in a constant state of waiting and hoping, they can keep you in their life without bearing the responsibility of a genuine relationship. This allows them to have the security of having you while avoiding the risk of commitment, creating a toxic power imbalance. You are the one doing all the emotional labor, the thinking, analyzing, and waiting. They, on the other hand, just need to throw you crumbs when they feel lonely or when they want to confirm that they still have an influence over you. This control helps them maintain the sense of independence and autonomy that they crave. They avoid the vulnerability of depending on someone else because they are the ones who always have the choice. This control creates an illusion of safety, but it is built entirely on your insecurity and pain. Reason number 4, a lack of emotional self-awareness for themselves and others. It's important to understand that many avoidants aren't doing this to be intentionally cruel or malicious. Their behavior is often an unconscious reaction, driven by long-standing fears and defense mechanisms from childhood trauma. They are disconnected from their own emotions. Therefore, they are also incapable of understanding the emotions of others. Breadcrumbing is often a manifestation of this lack of awareness. They may lack the ability to put themselves in your shoes to understand how much pain and confusion a short text message can cause after weeks of silence. They might think that a sporadic check-in is a kind gesture, a way of showing they still care, when in reality it is a toxic behavior. They might say, "I didn't mean anything by it," and it might be the truth. But they don't understand the impact of what they've done. This lack of awareness causes them to repeat the same patterns over and over, never learning how to love and attach in a healthy way. Reason number 5. Breadcrumbing is the easiest way for them to overcome their fears. For an avoidant, facing their own emotions is the most terrifying thing. It requires them to become vulnerable, to admit their fears and insecurities. This is incredibly difficult. Instead of doing the internal work necessary for growth and change, they choose the easier path. Breadcrumbing is a quick escape. It allows them to get a temporary sense of connection and security without having to face their real problems. It helps them avoid the difficult conversation about commitment, about expectations, about fears. It helps them escape accountability and vulnerability. Understanding these reasons is not to excuse them, but to allow you to see the situation clearly and get out of it. Breadcrumbing is not a sign of love. It is a sign of a person who is incapable of loving you fully. And you deserve that full love. Do not accept breadcrumbs. Go find someone who can give you the whole cake.